Any note that feels good to you. Dawn, come on up. It was tied on. One more.
This Space by Alexis Engelbright. The space in which you stand was once empty. Now it is full with your presence. This space, this sanctuary that now includes you and me, this holy ground as we each, with our inherent worth and dignity, stand upon it. What might we create together? What might we breathe into life with our words and actions? What might we be for one another? What might we be for this community? This is no small, insignificant act, us being here together. Indeed, this space is full of potential, and it is good to be here with you.
Good morning. My name is Lindsay Dunckel. I had to look that up. And, as worship associate for this morning's service, I welcome you, those in the sanctuary and those on Zoom, each and every one. We are the richer for the presence of each of us as we together weave this tapestry of worship. Today we're exploring the theme of beauty and considering the creation of it, art in all its many forms. So throughout the service we'll be seeing slides of creative pieces by members and friends of all ages, and our sanctuary and our library are filled with examples of the talent of our compatriots. Today we'll be singing and making music and moving and even creating a little bit of art. For those in the sanctuary, you probably collected some tissue paper, a pencil, and a pipe cleaner as you entered. So hold on to those, and we'll be using them in a bit. And if you didn't pick any up, we'll get some to you when the time comes. For those at home, we hope that you have a piece of paper and some colorful writing implements handy. And I'll remind you to find some if you'd like to play along at home when it's time to use them. Making art is akin to creating worship. The artist is lifting up something of worth and inviting us to join in that. I know I'm not the only one here who loves to stroll through museums, really losing myself, looking at the art and being awed by the artists. But I have a secret for you. We are all born as artists. Truly, if you go into any kindergarten classroom and you ask them, who's good at drawing? Every single child will raise their hand. Sadly, once we gain the ability to deftly make comparisons, we lose this certainty that we too are artists. So if you ask fourth graders the same question, only a few will raise their hands, and sometimes other kids will point to them. But really, the kindergartners are right. We are all born artists. So my children were born when I was working on my PhD in developmental psychology. And that means that I videotaped them solving Piagetian tasks. And I practiced administering IQ tests on them, and I served them up as subjects in my friends' dissertation research projects. And I collected a ridiculous number of samples of their drawings and paintings that I still have. I've really forever been fascinated by the development of children's art, which, as it turns out, follows some regular patterns that seem to appear all over the world in all different cultures. So I've brought some samples from my son to illustrate. So the very first one I have is when he was 7 months old. Yeah, believe it or not, a 7-month-old will do this. The marks are random, but children even this young will stop drawing if the pen or the pencil or the crayon stops working. So it's not just the motion that's motivating them. It is actually the visual effect of what they're doing. And then by 1 year, as we see in the next slide, the scribbles appear, and you can see the joy in the motion, often visible, and they start filling up the whole page. In the next slide, you see that they start to gain more control, and they begin making discrete scribbles, right? And then the scribbles are joined by lines and dots. And then, in a really mind-boggling moment of universal development, a child makes what's called a mandala, and it's a circle with a cross through it. So they're putting together the circle and the cross. And we see mandalas that are made by children in California and Kenya, in Darfur and Denmark, in Tokyo and Tonga. Mandalas are seen in ancient art and they're used in modern art. I think the balance is inherently pleasing to our brains. And here you can see perhaps, I hope you can see, my son Callum made his first mandala in a teeny tiny apartment in Brooklyn, New York. And I was thrilled, as only a developmental psychologist parent could be. It's on the top left. Okay, so in the next bit of development, the artist in all of us is to extend this cross into multiple lines that radiate out of the circle. And then they leave out the middle and they just leave the rays around the circle, as you see here. And that quickly becomes a sun. And then one day, a couple of those lines elongate and the first human appears. So you see this here. You get 4 long rays that are arms and legs, and then a face appears. And children at this age, usually around 4 years old, they can point to and name all kinds of body parts. They know that they have a neck and a tummy and a belly button and all these other things, right? But their drawings don't include them. This is universally true around the world. They go through this phase where everything comes out of the head. So that makes some scientists argue that this development is really hardwired somehow. One more slide. So this isn't universal, but it appears in some cultures. And you can see here that the rays around the edge of the circle looped in and became tiny circles all the way around. So this is the Millennium Falcon and some X-wing fighters. Just so you know that my kids' development wasn't entirely in a laboratory. They had a father too, thank goodness. Okay, all this by way of saying that we are all born artists. You can ask me at coffee hour about how we dance and sing and sculpt, and you get the idea. today, in this place, made sacred by our being together. The creativity in me sees the creativity in you. Let us worship.
We offer the land acknowledgement each week so it settles in us, this awareness that we have benefited from the same experiences that other people suffered from. I invite us to anchor today in a heartbeat, if you're willing and able.
In our commitment to be in right relationship with the descendants of this area's indigenous people, we place a small basket of black oak acorns on our altar each week. In doing so, we acknowledge the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible after generations of erasure and exclusion from California's history. We understand we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the genocide of their people. As residents or visitors in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people, as well as the campaign to restore tribal sovereignty through federal recognition.
The world outside's so confusing. Feels like your sanity you're losing. The world's spinning faster. Are we heading for disaster? When outside brings dread, look inside you instead. Look inside yourself. What do you see? There's muscles and bones, you're built like a tree, organs and tissues and fluids and such, and some things you wouldn't want to touch. There's a system of bellows to harness the wind. Breathe, breathe in and out again. And tiny blood vessels to carry that O2 to the furthest extremities of you. Now linger a moment, you'll be so enthralled. A vast tiny universe with nothing to solve. All things work together for common end. The garden for you to tend. Far from the world of confusion and fear. Wouldn't you rather be here? Wouldn't you rather be here? Now look even closer, seems you're not alone in a quantum universe. Everything is as one, the birds in the sky, the ants marching by. In a sense, I am you, you are I. Now just imagine like a spaceship will fly. Set your sights on the dots in the sky. There's billions of galaxies filled with billions of stars. The math will make you see stars. Quasars, nebulas, dark matter, black holes. Seems you're connected to wonders untold. From micro to macro, all things in between. Aren't you glad you made the scene? Far from the world of confusion and fear. Would you rather be here? So next time you feel the walls closing in, look up in the sky or under your skin. The miracle of you, the heavens above, all set into motion by love. The miracle of you and the heavens above, all set into motion by love.
Scotty Hart's jewelry, there are all kinds of beautiful, beautiful things today, including the music. I'll try to remember to gradually introduce some things. Clothing by Caro DeGangi. This is Beth Caro and her beloved Angelo DeGangi do tie-dye. And I asked for rainbow tie-dye a couple years ago, so they gifted me with this shirt. For our opening, I invite you to take yourself back to kindergarten when everyone's a singer, right? When everyone's a singer. We are going to sing our opening words. I'm looking for 9 individuals to each sing a sentence of the opening words with flexible abandon. Now, if that worries you, you can sing all on one note if you want. Or you could do Gregorian chant and sing almost all on one note and just before the end go up and back down. Or you could go all over the place if you want. So, 9 people, come on up. Come on up. Christy's ready. Susan's ready. I encourage you to brave it. Yay, yay. 3. Yeah, stand up here because we'll be doing something. Oh, yes, yes.
This is courage.
This is courage. A few more. Oh, Danica. Yay.
Hey, Michael, get up.
Excellent. There you go. 3 more. 3 more. Oh, here comes Michael.
Yep.
Clear. One last one. Jesse! Oh, I'm excited! All right. So let's get in order over here. Number 1. Who's number 2? Wait, come on this way. So we'll stay on this side, Susan. I'm going to ask Christy to come this way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to ask you to sing over here by the pulpit, and we are going to respond because we want to affirm, right? We want to affirm and thank, and affirm the message with a mm-hmm, or a uh-huh, or an oh yes. Okay, so we'll respond to each one. So Christy, would you please begin?
Yes. Our community is filled with beauty.
Thank you. And then you swap places. And then you Here comes Susan.
When you open the door to greet me, that's where the beauty begins.
Finding your way. Very good.
When you share with me what's important to you, beauty is there as I listen.
When we join hands to practice compassion, beauty's heart blooms like a flower.
When we teach or learn or work for justice, beauty, beauty abounding sparks joy in all.
Nicole's with the mic there.
Let's light the chalice for beauty now.
The beauty we see.
The beauty we share. The beauty we nurture together.
Together. Together. Together. Together. Last one. Together. courage and beauty. Lindsay will light the chalice with that invitation, and I invite everyone at home or at your friend's house or your away place to light your chalice at home with some beautiful pottery on the slide by Jillian Roberts. Lindsay is surrounded. There's Phil Horning's snow painting there. Lynn Jovanovich's beautiful window. Robin Hart's roses. Janet Bullock's beautiful painting of the river. Eileen Hale's collage here. You can come look later. Catherine Young's beautiful painting of water. And another Robin Hart piece here, a quilted piece. Up very on the altar, the spirit piece is Carmen Riley. Anne Lyon's watercolor. Shanti Emerson's Ganesha, the sculpture. Laura Harder's painting right near the chalice. And Linda Siska on the wall there, the wall hanging, the beautiful wall hanging. So as they're getting ready for the music, our opening is actually going to be an opening movement. So now that we've done sound, we're going to dance. Kindergartners, right? Where everyone's a dancer, right? And we'll structure it because sometimes structure helps. It's a very loose structure. So let me tell you what it's going to be, and then we'll do it. So in a moment, I'm going to invite everyone to rise in body or in spirit as you're able. To aim, just hang on, any which way you want. You can face any which way you want as long as you can see at least one person, okay? So in a moment, once you're risen and you're facing all different directions, but you're gonna zero in on one person that you're gonna watch. You're gonna zero in on one person that you will watch. Does this make sense so far? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask everyone not to move. I'm gonna ask everyone not to move, but if the person you're watching moves at all, I'm going to ask you to echo what they do a little bit larger and in slow motion. So if someone does this, you're going to go. And if you see the person you're watching does this, you're going to go a little bit bigger. But it's going to stay in slow motion. Make sense? So you'll be standing up, you'll be facing different directions. You're going to zero in on one person and watch them. And if they move, you're going to echo what they do a little bit larger and in slow motion. It'll be a ballet, and I'm going to add some music. So if you'd please rise in body or in spirit. Aim any way you want, as long as you can see at least one person. Everybody got zero in on who you're going to watch. Find the person that you're going to watch. They don't even need to know it's you. Just find one person. Now, ideally, you don't want to be watching each other. So you don't want to be looking at one person. You all want to be looking at different people. So find someone to look at. You're not looking right back at each other. Making sense? Okay, so now here's the instruction. Nobody move. But if somebody does move, echo it larger and in slow motion.
Good morning. I am going to be reading the story this morning, and the title is Ish by Peter H. Reynolds.
Okay, now is the time for your paper and your pipe cleaners. And if you did not receive one, will you raise your hand and someone will bring one to you? And for those at home, now is the time for your paper and things of color. So many creative people will tell you that making art is a spiritual practice. Writers and musicians especially talk about getting their brain out of the way of what sometimes feels like is coming through them. And opening ourselves up to creativity is a leap of faith into the unknown. And though not without struggle and the difficulty of escaping the inner critic, right, like Ramon, practicing creativity can open us to joy, can help us find flow, and lift us beyond ourselves. So I thought we could get a small taste of what this is this morning. I invite you to think of a one-word blessing that you would offer to others here. And while you're thinking, you can move into creativity. So for those of you on Zoom, I invite you to create like a frame of scribbles or images all around the edge of your paper, and then in the center, write the one-word blessing, bold enough and thick enough to be seen on camera, because you'll be sharing those with one another. For those of you in the sanctuary, we're going to make paper flowers. So I want to say that there's no need to worry about doing this correctly or perfectly, because there is no correct or perfect way to do it. So you're going to stack the pieces of paper together. And you don't have to worry that the center is all in the same spot and they're different sizes, because the person who cut them out, I happen to know, let go of her perfection and let them be different sizes. Okay, so the one that's on the bottom is going to be the outside, and the one that's on the top is going to be the inside. So once you've stacked them, if you hold your pipe cleaner sort of at the tip, you can push it through all 6 layers. Yes, and if you need help, perhaps someone sitting near you could help you. Okay, so once you have the tip through, you're just going to bend it over on itself a little bit, so the sharp part is down, and then just crook that little end so it looks like that. All right, and now have you thought of what that wish is? You're going to take your pencil, and if you put all 6 layers on your hand, you can write with a pencil on tissue paper without ripping it. It's been tested in the test kitchen. If you write it on the inner layer, it's going to be a secret blessing. If you write it on the outer layer, it'll be a visible blessing, sort of. So write that wish. And then you're going to start to crumple up the paper. So you do it one at a time. And you can fold in the corners if you want, but if you crumple up that first one, nice and tight, and then you crumple up the second one around that, maybe a little looser. Maybe you want to tuck the edges in. And you keep going until you've crumpled up all 6 layers. And you have a flower. Sounds like rain in here. Those at home, you can turn your cameras on and hold up your creations for one another to view as you finish.
Oh, look around. Look around. Such beautiful, really beautiful flowers. So today, for joys and sorrows, we're going to invite you to bring your flowers up today instead of stones. Although next week, we're inviting you to bring a special stone to contribute to our Joys and Sorrows stone collection that will stay here. So maybe there's that stone you've had around the house and it has some meaning to you, but you're willing to let go of it. Or you go for a walk or get to the river and find something that feels right and special. I invite you to bring a stone next week. But today, I invite you to look at your flower or your drawing or to imagine in your heart all these possibilities. And just take a moment to just notice what you're feeling in this moment. What's in your mind and in your heart in general, but also this moment. There is a great deal that could be in there. Just for you, notice right now what that is. If you're online, you'll be able to type into the chat some of what you're carrying. I won't read those today, but you'll be able to share them with each other, and I'll be able to see those later. If you're in the room today, I invite you to bring the flower up. If that's not something you want to do or that's difficult physically, feel free to see if someone near you will take your flower up for you. And we're going to fill the bowl here with the flowers. I invite you to hold each other in the quietness and the beauty and the creativity of the moment as you do this.
Before the alarm calls, I waken to dust boats drifting down sun rays, bending round the edges of the blinds, while others still sleep. I breathe into my wholeness, pad quietly to the kitchen, hear morning geese erupt in greeting. Tea in hand, I settle on the porch, bathe in a river of bird song.
I'm going to ask you to join in on the chorus because now I know how wonderful you all are at singing. It's simple to do. I'll sing it for you. Tune was born one windy, rainy day. Sad and sweet, it whistled the gloom away. Soft and low, it hummed a baby off to sleep, then flew into the evening air. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it to you. La 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 la. walking her dog. Sad and sweet, it swept away the gloom of fog. Soft and low, it hummed them both off to sleep, then flew into the midnight night. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it with you. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it with you. Paper carrier heard it making their rounds. Sad and sweet, their feet were dancing on the ground. Soft and low, it floated into open windows, eased a bright new dawn into day. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it with you. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it with you. Sometimes it takes a sad song to wash away tears, a sweet gentle song to comfort our fears, till another song arises one day, fills us with courage to find a new way. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it with you. La 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 la, simple to do. La 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 la, I'll sing it with you. I'll sing it with you. I'll sing it with you.
Wonderful, Kate. It's going to be wonderfully sticky, I think. So I know you've been sitting there thinking, I always wish I could perform piano in a public setting. So I'm going to invite 3 people who do not play piano to come play with me. And here's the thing, we're gonna do a little piece together. I'm gonna invite 3 different people. The 3 people will take turns, and we'll be 2 of us at the piano at a time. And to give it some structure that makes it no fail, we're gonna play only black keys. That's the only rule, only black keys. And as long as you can identify black keys, you're good. So I'm looking for 3 people to come play a piece of music with me that will never be repeated. That will never be repeated. All right. Come on up. You want to come up? 2 more people. 2 more people. Wally, excellent. And Sue. Sue.
See, we're all born musicians too. So we've seen beautiful creations both in the room and on the slides all morning, and it's been such a delight. For those whose creations we haven't seen, I'm hoping you'll share with us what you create in a single word or a short phrase. And we're going to make this a call and response. So I'll say, what do you create? And then I'll point to someone who's got their hand up. And then all of us will respond, beauty, after they say their piece. So folks on Zoom, you can put it in the chat, and I will read it out that way. So let's try it. What do you create?
Glory.
Beauty. What do you create? Ken.
Memories.
Memories. Beauty. Okay, so I'll repeat it. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, so everyone can hear. Memories. What do you create? Joy. Beauty. What do you create?
Furniture.
Furniture. Beauty. One more. What do you create? Jesse. Music. Beauty. All right, everyone who didn't speak, you're all going to say it at once. What do you create? Beauty. So much beauty arising this morning, especially when you know to look for it or ask about it. It was such a treat for me to see all the photos come flooding in with your creations for this service, and seeing sides of you that were new to me. Each Sunday, all through the week, each Sunday, and all through the week, for that matter, we have opportunities to give of ourselves to make UUCM the vibrant and life-affirming place that it is. And one way that we have of doing this is through the offering of money to support the workings of this community. 25% of our offering this month is going to support child advocates of Nevada County, whose mission is to help Nevada County's children grow up safe, secure, and ready for the future. Child Advocates of Nevada County provides emotional and practical support to help children overcome trauma and isolation caused by abuse and neglect so that they can rise to their potential. And I can tell you, I have a personal connection to that. I'm a board member of Child Advocates and believe so wholeheartedly in the work that they do.
For Allison's announcement, in case you were wishing you had come up here and played piano, we're going to do a little bit more during the offertory. So I'm looking for a few more people to come play with me for the offertory. We're doing white keys this time.
So for those at home, Kevin is he's just saying that he's looking for 3 more people to come up and do improvisations with him. So your giving is vital to our community. Thank you for your generosity. You can listen for the many ways to give.
Your generosity remains essential to our ability to sustain the work of our community. There are several ways to contribute. You may text an amount to 833-579-0483, give via our website at uugrassvalley.org, via PayPal at paypal.me/UUCM, or mail to UUCM 246 South Church Street, Grass Valley, California, 95945. Thank you.
Thank you for your generosity. We dedicate these offerings to the artist born in each of us, each child served by child advocates, each person here, each person everywhere. May we look for the beauty each of us brings to the world. And now you each in the room have a flower which contains a wish. I invite you to make eye contact with someone nearby, to greet one another with your eyes and your smile, to pause a moment there in connection and acknowledgement, and then to give one another your flower. So you're going to exchange them. So I hope that you will take these with you and find a spot. And maybe it's the rear view mirror of your car. Maybe it's the handle of your favorite tea mug. Maybe it's your bedside lamp, where this flower can remind you of the ways that we can seek and create beauty. And it can live with you all week long.
Laura Harder's art there on the screen. It was Lindsay's idea to do those flowers. Are they not beautiful? They're just like amazingly beautiful to me for how simple the task is, yeah. Lindsay, thank you for being a fabulous worship associate once again. And I'm gonna need that slide up, Jesse, so I can remember all my thank yous in the back there too. Beth Carroll was not feeling well today, and still she served as chat host. Beth, thank you so much. And Siobhan Boylan and Bob Miller are both away this weekend. They have been our mainstays. And this week we have Jesse and Bob on the AV. Thank you so much. And Andy Dooley Miller, very steady, always on the sound. Thank you, Andy, so much. To all of our artists, we'll thank some more in a second, but thank you to the Arts and Aesthetic team for doing the invitation and the installation in the room, and to all of our artists. To our singers, Kate for the beautiful song, Janet and Eileen and Kate for singing, Tom for your wonderful song as well. Thanks for all that music. Thanks to those who made music, either singing or playing without even knowing that you were going to do that. Much appreciated. To our readers, Linda Guthrie and Bev Lyon and Jennifer Taylor, thanks so much for reading that story. And our greeters this morning, Linda, Penny, and Connie. Refreshments, Beth Rose has been leading and organizing that team. Thank you so much. After the refreshments today, we're going to meet about music for the future at UUCM. And George and Corey, thanks for behind the scenes. And as for those artists, here's one more of Anne's pieces, Anne Adams' pieces. Isn't that lovely? It's been so fun to go, ooh, with several people. It's like, I had no idea. Anne I knew was an artist. So here are your artists, Anne and Don and Bob and Kate, Barbara, Gwen, Nancy, Rochelle, Lisa, Eileen, Robin, Scotty, Laura, Joel, Teresa, Carol, Anne, Ishelle, Ramon, young Ishelle and Ramon, Jillian Roberts, Linda, Lynn, Nora, and Tam from a distance. Thank you, each of you. And for the artists on display here today, Janet, Eileen, Robin, Laura, Lynn, Phil, Ann, Carmen, Jillian, Catherine, come take a close look if you're in the room. For our closing, one more photo by Lindsay. These are lovely, Lindsay. A simple closing that involves you, surprise. So 3 parts, pick one. Beauty, this is the lowest one, by the way. Beauty, 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 beauty-ish, 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 amen, beauty-ish, amen, beauty-ish, pick a part. Beauty-ish, amen, beauty-ish, amen, beauty last time, beauty is amen. Janet Bullock's beautiful artwork. To accompany our community benediction, this reminder that we are connected all in the in-between times. Together, let us carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.